Hey Sam. Um, First of all, I want to say you did a fantastic job. This is definitely what you sent me was A+ work. Um, so you were still wondering about questions 7 and 8. So I guess to pursue this question 7, you had to figure out what a rectangle is. So we already had these things, the square and the triangle and all that. So people, some people kind of thought, maybe we're just making another class here. And again, like I always stress, if you guys need clarification on any of this stuff, just ask me, okay? So the rectangle, in this case, what we're looking for is a rectangle that returns the required values. It returns the min and max x's and y's for the canvas. So that rectangle is this guy. It's a class in the Java AWT package. And it has these attributes. It has height, width, x, and y. So the idea then is rectangle itself is just a totally abstract idea. It's not a drawn object or anything. It's only a placeholder, or not a placeholder, but like a place to collect these different attributes. It just holds on to these different numbers, okay, and makes them available in different formats as you need them, and you can do different operations on them, okay. So the idea is for the canvas would be, the origin of the canvas is going to be 0, 0. So that's our xy for the origin, and then the size of the rectangle is determined by get width and get height. Okay, so the four corners of the rectangle, so the top the top left corners are 0, 0, and the bottom right corner is get width, get height. Okay, so basically the idea is height would be found by doing the get height that we use on Canvas, because Canvas has a get height method. The width is found with the get width method, and the x and the y are both going to be 0 because that's the upper corner. Okay, so what does that mean? So what we want is in our square function we have this this stuff going on in the change position, right, where we set the min to 0, the min x to 0, the min y to 0, and here's our max and our, well, actually the farthest that the square can go is get width minus size, and the farthest that the farthest the square can go height-wise is get height minus size. But if we're getting the actual boundaries of the canvas, it's 0, 0 with height. So what I was looking for was something like it's going to return a rectangle, and it's going to be get canvas bounds, and then it's going to have some stuff in it, right? So there's going to be, we could start it off as rectangle bounds equals new rectangle. So we'll just create a new rectangle object. And at the end, then we're going to do some stuff to fill in the values in there. and then in the end we're going to return bounds. So if you want to think about it a little bit, if you want to freeze the video for a second, you can see if you can figure out what you would put in there, and if you, and then when you come back, I'll just pick up and show you how I solved it. So I'll take, like, you know, I'll pause for 30 seconds so you can pause the video, and then I'll start up again. Okay, so what do we need here? So basically what we need is to do something like you know, something like bounds x equals 0, whoops, bounds y equals 0. I keep forgetting my semicolons. I've been doing Python all day. Okay, then oops, bounds width equals canvas get width, and bounds height equals canvas get height. And I actually think you can get away with this. I think those are all public variables. Oh, but we do have to make sure that we import the class. So it's part of the Java AWT package. So let me see. Okay, well, it looks like we're importing all of the Java AWT package, so that should be okay. We need to get the canvas, don't we? So we need to be able to do something like that. Okay, that compiles. The only thing is you're going to run into trouble if the canvas is not visible. So remember, that's where we did this check down here. If is visible, then we can get the canvas. So maybe we need to, let me copy this. Okay, and then you can do all of this stuff. Oh, can I just, you know what, I'll just do the auto layout thing here. There we go. Okay, so what do we do if we don't know? Let's see, do we have let's see, I think what I did was I just set a default size for the square. Oh no, that was for the square. For the canvas bounds, I don't know, I just set, you know, you could stick in some default values if you wanted, or you could set the rectangle to be null, but then you just have to remember that on your or actually what you could do is just initialize it to null, and then in here do that. And then if you got a null back, that would just mean that the canvas wasn't visible yet. But then you'd have to be sure you know how to check for that. Or you could, always create a rectangle and just give it some, some default numbers if you wanted to. But that's the idea of creating. And then here, you could say something like, you could just say, be similar to this. Let's say copy, paste. So you could say rectangle bounds equals get canvas bounds, right? And then do something like this, like bounds.x, bounds.y. Okay. So, that's just another way it's another, common way of storing and retrieving information about the bounds of a rectangle. Is putting it in this rectangle, in a rectangle object like that. All right, so it's not a big change to your code. It's just something that's good to be aware of, because you're going to see when you do any kind of AWT or swing stuff, you'll see rectangle a lot, and that's what that's about. Okay, so I've gone on long enough. I'll talk about the array list thing in another video.